Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of BB News. And there's lots of transfer news to discuss today. Today I'm going to be talking Nkunku. I'm going to be talking Lukaku. I'm going to be talking Saudis. I'm going to be talking Vega and much more. So stay tuned. So guys, in the first story, I want to welcome Nkunku to the club. The worst kept secret at Chelsea. We all knew he was coming. Some people started to panic a bit because it wasn't announced, but the deal was all tied up and wrapped up just after January, guys. So I said to everyone, stay calm, it's happened. But, some people just didn't want to do. And I always say he's got to be holding his shirt, but he did sign a pre-contract. And I knew that this deal was just a formality and it just needed announcing. So he comes to the club now after 4 successful seasons at Leipzig. 78 goals, I think he scored for them. He was to finish the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga last year on 16 goals. I think he had 8 assists as well. What we're getting with this player, we're getting an exciting talent. We're getting a player who can play as a 10, play as a 9, and also play out on the wings. I watched him play quite a lot because obviously I knew we were getting him, so I watched him a lot, and every time I saw him I was impressed with him. This guy he's got ability. He can play in tight areas as well. So even when we were playing against defence, low blocks, he's got the skill to get past these defenders, a close control. Calm finishing. I know that people are going to be a bit nervous because we had Timo Werner who came in from Leipzig and didn't do that well. But this guy doesn't rely on pace. As I said, he's got a good touch as well. He's quite strong, and he's used to playing the French league, which is a physical league as well. So I don't think he's going to have any problems adapting to the Chelsea style, and a great addition to the squad. So welcome, and I'm excited to see what he can offer the club. So that's the good story out of the way. Now I'm going to go on to the bad one. Lukaku. Who does this guy think he is? I spoke about him before in other videos, but this guy, he's starting to get on my nerves. He's a Chelsea player. He's contracted to us for 5 years. He signed that contract. We second highest transfer fee at Chelsea. And what does this guy do? He just wants to take liberties, basically, by holding us to ransom. And he's saying he doesn't want to join any other club apart from Inter Milan. Inter Milan know what they need to do. If they want to keep this guy, they need to pay up or shut up. I don't want to hear no loan deal business. Chelsea are playing hardball with this one. And, Lukaku's coming over here, apparently, with his lawyers. I don't know what they're trying to achieve, and trying to force his way into a move to Inter Milan. You know what you've got to do. Buy out your contract. Give us the 45 million that we need, and you can go on your merry way. I'll stick to my guns. I know Chelsea do stick to their guns with this Lukaku situation, because I don't want. We've given this club 97 million. What for? For him to just walk all over us? No, I don't think so. So with the moves of the Koulibalys and Mendy and Ziyech all going to the Saudi Arabian league, that's freed up a lot of money on our wage bill. So I think we can afford to play that waiting game with Inter and see if they budge. And if not, then what's Lukaku going to do? He's going to be sitting around doing nothing. And I wouldn't have him anywhere near the first team as well to be the disruptive influence if he stays. So we got to stick to our guns on this one, I think. Going on to the Saudis situation, and a lot of them, I can't believe it. The agenda is so clear against Chelsea. All this moaning that we got the audacity to sell our players to the Saudi league, and they're linking it with some connections that we've got with the Clear Lake Group and the PIF. The Public Investment Fund for Saudi having ties, but apparently they've only got a 2% in is it Kane Group or the Clear Lake Capital, and there's no underhand tactics in what we're doing. These guys who are going over to Saudi, they are all Muslims, and so they're going over to play in a Muslim country where they can also not only play but they can worship in that country as well. So whenever it's Chelsea, it's always Chelsea. Whenever Chelsea do something, oh, what's going on? It's underhand. We had Todd Bowley giving out 7-8 year contracts. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing in the rule book that said that. And obviously, as soon as he started doing that, UEFA act and saying no more than 5-year contracts. And other teams were selling their players to the Saudis. As soon as Chelsea start selling their players to the Saudis, all of a sudden there's uproar. Chelsea are ruining the game of football, etc., etc. All this nonsense going on. Agenda's clear, guys, and that's why when all the Chelsea fans going on about agendas, and people say we're paranoid, but when these things happening time and time and time again, what are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to believe? But cry some more, guys. It's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. So these guys are off to the Saudi League, and we're getting them off our wage bill, and we're getting money as well. We're getting, for the free, probably about 50 to 60 million on our books. So hey, happy days for Chelsea. I want to talk about this. Is it Vega? I think his name's Vega, the guy that we're after, the Spanish guy. Apparently Pochettino really likes him, but something interesting that I saw from Liverpool. Liverpool were looking at him, but they said not for now, because they want a more physical profile in their team, and they're going for Thuram and who's the other French guy they were going for? I can't remember his name now. But Thuram and another player who they are and looking at the moment. Is it Fofana? I think it's Fofana. And that got me thinking, Chelsea, we need a bit of physicality in our midfield. And so I don't want another player. If Liverpool don't deem him to be physical enough, we've got a lot of lightweights in our team at the moment. We need some physicality. So I hope we are looking for that profile as well, because Caicedo may be coming in. I know some people are jumping the gun at the moment with Caicedo, saying that he's already agreed terms, not come out from any of the big tier 1 outlets yet. So stay calm on that one, guys. But we need another, including Caicedo, to come in. I think we've been bullied far too often in the middle of the park. There's talk about Paulino, Fulham putting £90 million on him. The world's gone mad, football world. 90 million. He's a good player, yeah, but he's not a £90 million worth player. And it's just ridiculous, some of these fees being quoted. I'm not sure if it's just to frighten off would-be suitors or not, but that's crazy. And there was another crazy story today in one of the Spanish outlets to say that Chelsea are going to be putting in a 60 million bid for Tchouaméni. I'd love that to be true, actually, but I can't see Tchouaméni leaving so soon after joining Real Madrid. And when you look at the likes of Mudryk and what's his name? What's that midfielder, the German guy? His name's gone right out of my head. Cruz, yeah. So when you look at those two, they haven't got long left in the club. So I know that Jude Bellingham's come into Real Madrid, and they've got Camavinga and Valverde, but still Tchouaméni, he's the future. So they're not going to spend all that money on him just for him to leave the season after. So that one, stick that in the newspaper bin, because it's just a load of nonsense, that story. I think I've covered everything today. Kai Havertz is the other one who Arsenal put in an official bid. Chelsea rejected it, and they're looking at something like £65 million. So if we can get that sort of money for him, happy days. That's the news at the moment. And obviously, I think we should be hearing more about Mr. Michael Jackson, whatever you want to call his name. It was interesting to hear is the owner or the sporting director talking about, is it sporting director or owner? One of those two. We're talking about him today and saying that he had a release clause of the 35 million, but if he was to implement a release clause now, he would be a 70, 80 million pound player. He's that good, and he rates him really highly. And I like to see that. I like to see not players who are already established, players who have got potential, well-scouted players who can come into Chelsea and do a job. I've looked at a few of his clips. To be honest, I haven't really seen him play properly, but from what I've seen, the profile, it looks good. But I don't like judging people on just little short YouTube clips or whatever. I like to see him play over a full 90 minutes to get a better judgment of him. But he seems to be strong. His good hold-up play, good link play. His goal output is improved. He scored 8 in the last 9 games at La Liga. So
he was, but when you look at Drogba as well, I know a lot of people said he hasn't scored a lot of goals. When you look at Drogba in his first few seasons when he was at Guinea and then when he went to Marseille, his goal scoring wasn't great. It's only, I think, the last season at Marseille, the season before we bought him, that's when he had his standout season, and look how he turned out to be. So if this guy can be like another one like a Didier Drogba, then I'm all in for that. So that's the stories for today. So guys, what do you think about the stories I spoke about? What do you think Nkunku could bring to the club? What do you think of the Lukaku situation? Is it Vega? I might call his name right, I think it is. Have you seen him play? Do you think he'll suit the Premier League, or do you think he's a bit too lightweight, like Liverpool are saying? What do you think about this Saudi situation? Do other teams have a point, or are they just bitter and crying because Chelsea are I wouldn't say exploiting the market, but Chelsea are taking advantage of this Saudi market at the moment? So stick your comments in the section below, and I'll see you all on the next video. So take care, guys, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.